Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to try my hand at following along a little bit with this quick low poly grass in LightWave 3D. This was done 4 years ago actually, and I always thought that this was a nice fun little thing to try to experiment with. Unfortunately, I'm not maybe going to get quite the effect that he's gotten, but I'm going to just go through it and see what I can do, because I am obviously not Mark Warner. So to start with this, we're going to go to box. And I wasn't clear on how big he made the box, but I'm just going to take a stab at it that it was 2 meters by 2 meters. So I'll hit 2, tab 0, tab 2, tab, and then we'll zero these out, tab 0, tab 0. And that should do that. And so I'll hit spacebar to drop the tool. And let's see if we can see this thing. Yes, we can. So it's just one-sided, but we can see it. I'll hit A. So my understanding, there's no audio in that tutorial, so it's hard. In some parts, I'm just guessing. And I've said this before. He'll have a tutorial that's 2 minutes long, and it takes me 4 hours to do it. So it's misleading when you see his tutorials because he makes it look so easy. But so this is a placeholder, and what we're going to do now is go into Setup. And we're going to fiber effects, and I'm just ballparking this, so I'm going to go 25, and we'll do 0.6 for the length. Edge quantity is 3, and fiber sides. Now this was tripping me up, but we won't see anything until we put it down in these 3, until we put at least more than 1 in here. So we go 2, and then this lights up. And then the radius is going to be 0.06, and then the taper, I believe we can do, I don't know, 90 or, well, let's go ahead and grow it. So this window pops up, and then we have these controls up here, and they're a little different. It seems like it's locked to an axis or something, so it's not your usual freedom of control. But you can see right away there's some issues with it, like not quite coming in or maybe where we want it. So I might delete these, but I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. So we can go taper, and that thins them out. I was thinking that you could use this to make like a 2D paper city or something, but I'll have to play around with that. So I was thinking this has a lot of applications. Anyway, we want to randomize it a little bit. So I don't think there's any right or wrong in here. We can just, whatever looks right to you. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's that song? A little bit of dun 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 dun. You know what song I'm talking about? Okay, and then we have gravity here, and we can just switch around on that and adjust the strength of that. And again, I don't think there's any right or wrong here. Whatever you think looks cool. Okay, and maybe, I don't know, can we have more fibers? Maybe we want a little bit more fibers in here, because I was noticing an issue with that. So you might want to play with the fibers that you're getting. Okay, and then we just go okay. Now when I first did this, I was like, what the heck's going on? Where's my fibers? Well, they're here on this layer over here. So one thing we can do now, I don't believe we need this plane anymore. So on that layer selected, I'm just going to delete that. And then just so I don't get confused, I'm going to grab all this. I'm going to control exit and put it on the first layer, just so everything's all nice and neat. And now I can hit A, and there's my grass. Now there were some issues, like I said, with it bleeding. You can move these around. In his tutorial, he moves them around. He goes into the move tool. Let's see here on the move tool. The one thing he does is on these edges, and I wasn't sure exactly how he did it, but if I come down here to this window, oops, I'll just make this window big. How I got this to even up, he evens up all these edges here. I don't know, I'm having problems with my cursor right now. I can't see it. There, I just barely see it. Okay, so on points, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to right click and select all these points right here. This is just how I did it. I mean, I hit T, and then I'm just going to pull these points down like that. And there's probably a better way to do this than this, but we want them a little bit, I believe, beneath the surface. Then we can go, then what I did, I guess, is I go into select and convert to edge selection. Is that what I did? Yeah, I think that's what I did. And then I went to, where is it? Modify, align. No, it's details, set value. That's what I did. And I just set it to, that was wrong. Control Z, can I Control Z out of that? Set value, and I want to set it on the Y. And then can I do negative 0.05 or something like that? And then it all evens up like that. And then I just deselected that. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if that's how he did it, but that's how I did it. And then you can go in if you don't like, I guess, let me go back to my regular view. I guess if you don't like the individual placement of, let me hit A, these ones, you can just go in and select them, like with the polygon, like go on polygon here, and then hit the bracket, the right bracket, and just get rid of it. So if there were any that were close to the edge, maybe I shouldn't have deleted that square yet. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And then we're going to go save object as, and I've done this a couple times. I'll save this as grass. Oh, and one last thing is we can go Q and set this to grass, the surface, assign a surface to it. And then as far as I know, we can save that again. Save object. And now we can send this over into layout. Oh, I already was in here messing around, so I'm gonna have to clear my scene here. Let me clear this scene. I might have messed stuff up here. Okay. I might go back, have to go back and send it over again. There we go. So there's my fiber things. And now on the surface editor, we want to make sure smoothing and double-sided. And that looks good. And now we can put in a ground plane. So let's go model, geometry, ground plane. I believe it was 10 meters by 10 meters, 20 segments, and go okay. And I believe we just have segments on there, so we want to add some texture on there. So with the ground plane selected, we're just going to go, whoops, yeah, that's right. The ground plane primitive displacement map here, and we'll change it to procedural. And we just want to add a little, a little bit of variety to our, so it's not completely flat, I guess. So that's already at 100, I guess. Increase that up a little bit. Frequencies. So you can just play around with these. These don't have to be perfect. I guess it actually goes down that way. The negative contrast, but I don't want to go negative. So I think that's good enough. And then I guess on this, we want to smooth that too. So we've got a little kind of interesting surface going on there. Now here's where I kind of departed from what he did, but we're going to go ahead and select the grass. And on the properties, we're going to go to instancer, add instancer, and we click that, and we're going to add our grass here. Select that. And he sets it to surface, but I'm just going to do it as a radial array. I have more luck, I think, with that. And then I'm going to have to go into BPR to see what's going on here. And then I'm just going to spread the grass out here, like in a circle, or like that. And that's that. And then of course we can add more instances of the grass and thicken it up and, you know, spread it out a little bit more. I don't know. However, this part seems pretty, you know, subjective. And then of course we can randomize things. So of course, you know, we could set this to 50, change the size and the stretch. I guess we can change the rotation is what he did here. So we can do, I think, I want to say it was negative 360 to 360 here. So everything's just kind of different. And then 360, and then I think he put in -3 here. And like I said, I mean, there's a million ways to Sunday you could tweak this. Just the bottom line is just to try to make it look random, more random. So let's, okay, get out of current camera here. Okay, so I mean, that's interesting. And then the last thing is, you know, we might want to play around with, you know, whatever you want your jungle to look like. These look pretty clumped up right now, but, you know, I don't know. It looks, I mean, it just depends what you want, how thick you want it. And so, like I said, there's a million ways you could probably tweak this. So now the last thing was the surfacing or the texturing on this. So we can go to this into the edit node graph here, and I believe he got an, is it instance item, instance info node here, and then we got 2 gradients, so we're going to get a gradient. And again, I think what's fun about this is that, you know, I don't really see there's a right or wrong. It's just something to get in here and have fun with. And then I believe we got the mixer too here, and there is that. And then this all just goes in, like the fixed random would go into here, and this goes into foreground, this goes into background, and all this goes into color. And then for this one, I believe is just whatever, you know, you just play around with different colors, some kind of green because it's grass. And then maybe you want your grass to be, I don't know, more orange. I think he has this kind of oranges, but let's just do a lighter kind of green like that. And then on this one, I believe this was, I want to say this one was a lighter green. Oh, I know he put this on the Y, and I believe this was a, I want to say this was a lighter kind of green here. And then down here, I want to say was white. That's what I want to say, something like that. Is that right? Well, let's take a look and see what it looks like. If it looks horrific or something like that. Yeah, I think that looks kind of fun. So that is it. That's how you could get started with this. And I do see the potential for this in doing like paper 2D cities and stuff like that. So I just feel like it's something that has a lot of potential. And we'll go into camera view and see. Yeah, it looks cute. It's so anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and thanks to Mark Warner for all his tutorials. And I'm planning to start doing other people's tutorials, not because I'm copying them, but because I want to make sure that what they've taught isn't forgotten. So anyway, take care and have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.